Welcome back to another episode of Ask the Attorney. I'm your host, Alex Alexander with Client Focus Media. Today, I'm super excited to bring Devon Williamson from DevonLaw. You can find him online at DevonLawTN.com. Welcome, Devon. How are you today?
I'm doing great. It's a little cold and windy in Nashville, but that's okay. Bringing the good vibes in the office here today.
Open the window, let the breeze come in.
It's a little too chilly for that. Otherwise, I would, because that would add good effect in with the hair and the wind kind of thing for the video.
So how are you? So we were talking a little bit before we came on, right? And you have been you've had your own practice for about 5 years now. You've been in practice for about 5 years. And one of the things you did when you first came out of school is, I believe, that you worked for a prosecutor's office. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, I did.
Well, yes, tell us what experience you gained from that.
So after law school, I feel like it's really crucial to get trial experience and get in front of a jury. And while you're young, hot, and excited and just, kind of at that go get 'em mentality, fresh out of law school, it's good to throw yourself in the courtroom and learn and observe and, get that jury trial experience. So that's a big reason why I went to the prosecutor's office. I knew I wanted to help victims of crimes because I love to help people. And I figured it was a double whammy of helping people, using my law license for good, and also getting that jury trial experience, which I know would shape me and has shaped me for my career, and why I feel like I am where I am today is definitely because of my experience as a prosecutor.
There are a lot of young lawyers that come out, and they are somewhat afraid of litigation, right? And I think that you need to be a trial attorney. I think personal experience, just my opinion. But I think a good trial attorney does everything at that point, because you're so prepped and prepared that, of course, you can settle because you have everything in line. You know what you have, and so you can present it as we're going to court no matter what. And then, of course, settlements happen, which is awesome. Saves you time, saves money, all the thing that goes with that. But you probably find that you'll get better settlements the better prepared you are for trial. Would that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, that does make sense. And I think, speaking still on the prosecutor experience, learning the rules of evidence is huge. We obviously learn that in the books in law school, but actually executing that and practicing that in the courtroom and realizing, how difficult it really is to get things into evidence, or because of that difficulty, you prepare ahead so much and anticipate that the opposing counsel or whoever you're against is going to kind of object and make life not easy for you to get in all your evidence. So I always approach my trial prep assuming that I'm going to get objected to everything I put in. A lot of times it doesn't play out that way, but just preparing ahead of time and anticipating those issues, evidentiary issues, really has crafted my ability to settle cases now quicker and understand evidentiary issues that I can explain to opposing counsel with regard to issues that they may have, getting their evidence in, which pushes settlements more. So I feel like, yes, trial experience and trial work, preparation is everything. You want to be the most prepared person in the room. You want to know the facts of your case better than anyone else in the room, the opposing counsel, the judge, anyone. You want to be the most prepared person in the room. And so I've carried that through. I've learned that through, being a prosecutor. I've carried that through to what I do now, which is personal injury.
I'm going to take that a step further in the fact that the more you have are prepared to bring forward evidence, the more evidence you actually have to prove what you're doing is proper. I'm sure there's been times when someone says something and you want to defend them or represent them, and then realize that what they were saying doesn't really hold water. And so because you did your job properly from the get-go, there was really no embarrassment later. It was always, well, look, I feel that. Perhaps we need to go a different direction, which is a great. So kudos to you for that. If you gave one small tidbit or hint or whatever to somebody coming out of law school, or someone thinking about going to law school? Let's talk about that. First and foremost, if I were thinking about going to law school, what would be your one tidbit of information for me?
So I think that's a great question. I think people go to law school for a myriad of reasons, but really, I didn't have a burning passion to go to law school. My dad is a lawyer; he does family law, and I majored in public relations and I minored in creative writing in college. And I knew that I didn't really want to do that for my career kind of too late in the game. It was kind of junior year where I had that moment. And I thought, well, spoke to my dad and he goes, well, just go to law school. I mean, it can't hurt to overeducate yourself and get that secondary education. And obviously having a law degree is very helpful. So I would say that it's a great going to law school and having this information that I have is a great help to navigating through life, navigating through difficult situations. And I've honestly found that even though I didn't love law school so much because it was just so academic in nature, as soon as I was out on my feet, making decisions in trials, speaking to juries, just kind of like on my feet, executing what I learned, I have found that I loved being a lawyer. So I think for two reasons. Number one, you learn crucial information to help you and your family just navigate through life because legal issues pop up everywhere. And number two, I find that once you actually are out there practicing all the information that you learn in law school, it's a really big game changer. It's just a night and day, law school and actually being a lawyer, on your feet and going through the motions. It's so much better. So I would say do it. You won't regret it.
Excellent, excellent. Time is slipping away from us, and I apologize. So I want to thank you for being on the show today. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning into this episode of Ask the Attorney. If you'd like to learn more about Devon Williamson from Devon Law, of course, go to DevonLawTN.com. By the way, licensed in Florida and Tennessee, or right here at IWantToBuzz.com. Do something good for yourself, do something good for others.